Hi everyone, in this lesson we're going to be looking at how to play Thinking Out Loud by Ed Sheeran. This came as a single from his hugely successful album X or Multiply or however he wants it pronounced. But anyway, the song's a really great song. It's been hugely successful. It's got a lot of interesting things in there. There's some lots of nice finger picking parts, some muted backbeats. There's a solo there that's in the D major pentatonic. So a lot of stuff going on. So what we'll do first is go in for a close-up and have a look at the chords we're going to need. Okay, so let's look at the chords we're going to need first of all then. So the first one we're going to do is a D chord. Now for this song we don't actually need to put our second finger down. We simply need our first finger down on the second fret of the G string and our third finger down on the third fret of the B string. And what I'm doing here is I'm sort of leaning my third finger over a little bit to mute the top string. So that's our D chord. Then we need a D over F sharp, so a D with an F sharp in the bass. So for this you're going to bring your second finger onto the second fret of the G string, leave your third finger exactly where it is, and place your first finger on the second fret of the low E string. That gives us a D over F sharp. Okay, we're then going to need a G, and again we can leave our third finger where it is, that D note there, and then bring our second finger up to the third fret of the low E string. Okay, and then finally we have an A, and the best way I think to do this in this song is to do a bar chord, well a bar shape at least, so your first finger is going to bar across the D, the G and the B strings at the second fret. Okay, so as I'm changing chord here then, with my right hand, and I'll do a close-up of my right hand shortly, I'm playing here with the D chord, just the D, the G and the B strings. When I go over to the D over F sharp, I'm going to bring my thumb up to the low E string, and I'm now going to play the low E along with the D, the G and the B strings. Do exactly the same for the G chord. And for the A chord, pretty similar. My first, second and third fingers are going to stay where they are, and my thumb is now going to come down onto the A string. Okay, so next thing to note then is the timing of this. So the D chord here happens on beat 1, 1, 2, and then on the and after 2, we're going to move up to the D over F sharp. So that's 1, 2, and 3, 4. Then on beat 1 of the next bar we play the G, 1, 2, and then on the and after 2 we play the A chord, and 3, 4. So that gives us 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Okay, the next thing we're going to do then is to add a percussive mute on beats 2 and 4. This is known as adding a backbeat. And what we're going to do for this is we're going to release the pressure with our fretting hand. So we're touching the strings still, but we're just sort of lightly touching them. We're no longer holding them down against the fretboard. And we're just going to strike the strings with our right hand so that the strings are completely covered by our right hand. We're touching all of the strings. We just get that slight tap sound, but we don't hear any notes. Okay, and this is going to occur on beats 2 and 4, so it should sound like this. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is to add some extra bass notes, and these are going to come on the and after 3 and again on the and after 4. Okay, so the first one will occur on the D over F sharp. So what we're going to do is we're going to play the bass note that is appropriate to the chord that's being played. So in this case, it's a D over F sharp, so the bass note that we're going to be playing is that F sharp there on the low E string. So let me demonstrate what we do. We're going to go 1, 2, and 3. and. So we've got that extra bass note there. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Okay, we're also going to add one on the and after 4, so this will be, I think, an open string. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and yeah, sort of hitting the open E string there. I'm sort of using it as a lead-in note to the next chord, so that'll be 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. Okay, we then go to our G. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and I've got the open A string again there. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. Okay, and then the final thing we can add in are some hammer-ons. Okay, so the first one of these is going to occur on the first beat of the first bar there. What we're going to do is just take off the first finger, and then as we play the D chord, we're going to hammer that onto the second fret of the G string. Yeah. Okay, and then the next one is going to occur here after the after the A chord. I'm just going to hammer onto the fourth fret of the G string. Okay, so that hammer-on occurs on beat 4. So it's 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Okay, and sometimes I think as well, he plays the fourth fret of the D string on the and after 4 there, but I'm not sure that happens every time, and I'm not 100% convinced it's being played by that guitar. It might be another guitar. I think there's several guitar parts going on in the song, so it may be a note hit by another guitar, but it works, and if you want to add it, you can do so. How that sound. But as you can see, you don't need it. Right, so what we'll do now is we'll go in for a close-up on the rhythm hand. Okay, so as I'm doing this D chord then, I've got my thumb on the D string, my index finger on the G string, and my middle finger there on the B string. Okay, as I come up to the D over F sharp, I bring my thumb here to the low E, and I'm now going to move my first finger up to the D string, second finger onto the G string, third finger onto the B. And as I hit, I'm sort of hitting into these strings, like that. When I go to the G, I keep my right hand exactly the same. But as I go onto the A, I'm going to bring my thumb down onto the A string, keeping my first, second, and third fingers exactly where they were. Okay, so the way this is going to work then is we're going to play the 2 bars we've been playing 4 times in total with the hammer-ons, and then another 4 times without the hammer-ons. Okay, so that should sound like this. Okay, and we now go into a pre-chorus, so we're going to play this. Okay, so for this pre-chorus then, we're going to start with an E minor chord. Okay, and again, the important thing here is the rhythm. You can vary it as much as you want, really, but as long as you've got this going, where you've got the beat on 1 there, then again on the and after 2, and then again something on beat 4. So sort of 1, 2, and 3, 4. Then when we do the next bar, we changed from the A to the D, so we're going to go 1, 2, and 3, 4. Okay, so that gives us 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Now go back to the E minor. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. E minor. 1, 2, and 3, 4. A. 1, 2, and then this time a B minor and 3, 4. So that's the only bar chord we have in the song, that B minor. And then E minor again. 1, 2, and 3, 4. And then final A. 1, and 2, and 3, 4. Okay, so I'll go through all of that again. So that's 1, 2, and 3, 4. 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 1, and 2, and 3, 4. Now, if you want, you can use that same kind of rhythm that we were using in the rest of the verse, and apply that to the pre-chorus here. So something along these lines. It's up to you, really. It doesn't really matter as long as you're comfortable with it. As long as you like the sound of it, it doesn't really matter which direction you go with it. Okay, so we do a close-up on the pre-chorus, and you can see I'm going to be doing very similar kind of things with my fingers toe as we did with the rest of the verse progression. So for the E minor chord, got my thumb up here on the low E string, and then fingers 1, 2, and 3 on the D, the G, and the B strings. The only difference here is when I come down to the D chord, I'm going to bring not only my thumb down to the D string, but I'm also going to move these three from these strings onto the G, the B, and the low E, the top E, sorry. Okay, so that gives me. Then when I'm doing the sequence of A's at the end there, I sort of pluck the first one and then strum the rest, cutting that last one off. 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 4. Okay, we've now got our chorus, which is exactly the same progression as the verse, but without the hammer-ons, and again we play that 4 times. Okay, we now have this chord sequence. Okay, so that's going to be B minor, A, G, D over F sharp, E minor, then A, D. Okay, so that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4. So just speeding up a little bit there for that last D chord. Okay, when we do the last 2 bars of the chorus, I'm going to start with the B minor, so my thumb is going to be on the A string for the bass note, then again on the D, the G, and the B strings. Stays exactly the same for the A chord. When we do the G chord, all we're going to do is move the thumb up onto the low E string. Same for the D, F, F sharp. E minor exactly the same. Bring the thumb back down to the A for the to the A string for the A chord, and then all of that moves down by one string for the D chord. Okay, so now we're going to look at the solo. So for the solo, we're going to be using, I'm using a plectrum for this, whereas we were using our fingers before. Okay, we're going to start here at the 7th fret of the A and the D strings. We're going to play them together and hammer on to the 9th fret of just the A string. Do that same kind of thing down one string now, so we've now got the 7th fret of the D and the G, and we're going to hammer on to just the 9th fret of the D string. Okay, bring our first finger down again now to the 7th fret of the B and the G. Okay, and play those with a downstroke and then an upstroke. So that will give you. Okay, we're now going to do a country style bend. We're going to play the 10th fret of the G string. I'm using my 3rd finger here. Sorry, the B string. And we're going to play the 9th fret of the G string. Play the 2 strings together and bend just the G string up a whole tone. Release, play it again, and then do a hammer on from 7 to 9 on the G, and then play the 7 on the G again. So that will give you. Okay, so putting those two parts together. Okay, we're now going to hover our finger above the 7th fret of the G and the D strings, and we're going to do a percussive mute. We're going to use a down followed by an up motion with our picking hand. Place the strings down now, so this is the 7th fret of the D and the G, and hammer on to the 9th fret of the D string. So that'll give you. And then play the 7th fret of those 2 strings again. So, okay, we're going to do a very similar run to the very first thing we did, going down. But this time we're going to come into it with a muted upstroke. So we have a muted upstroke first, and then we go into it. Okay, we now place our 2nd finger on the 8th fret of the B string, and our 3rd finger on the 9th fret of the G. Play those 2 together, and then slide them up a whole tone. So we've now got 11 on the G and 10 on the B. We're going to play the 10 on the B again, and then slide the 11 on the G down to 9 again. Then play 7, 9, 7 on the G string. So that'll go. Okay, and then we're going to have this. Okay, so we're playing the 10th fret of the B and the top E, and we're going to hammer on to the 12th fret of the B. Do that twice, then play the 10 on the B on its own there. Okay, we're then going to bend the 12th fret of the top E string up a whole tone, and as soon as it gets up to that tone, cut the note off. We then play 10 on the top E, and then do the same bend again. Okay, so that'll give you. Okay, then barring across the 10th fret of the B and the top E again, we're going to hammer onto the 12th fret of the B 3 times. Then play the 10 on the B and the E again. And then one more time now by placing the 12th fret down on the B string and playing the 2 together. So that will give you. Okay, we then have 9 on the G and 10 on the B. We're going to hammer onto the 11th fret of the G string with our 3rd finger. So play the 2 strings together, hammer on, pull off, and then slide back to 7. Then slide from 9 to 11 on the G, and grab 10 on the B. Okay, so that'll give you. Okay, then we'll do a series of triplets coming down in thirds. So we're going to have 10 on the top E and 12 on the B. Do that 3 times. Then 9 on the top E and 10 on the B. 3 times again. Down a whole tone, so 7 now on the top E and 8 on the B. 5 on the top E and 7 on the B. So that'll give you. And if you want, you can also resolve it by going down another 2 frets to 3 on the top E and 5 on the B string. That's not actually played on the record, but I think it sounds good, so that'll give you. Okay, and that completes the solo. So what I'll do is I'll put that all together for you now really slowly. Okay, a little bit quicker. Okay, thanks for watching everyone. I hope you enjoyed the lesson and found it useful. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.